Well, hello there, Facebookers. Hello there, Instagrammers. It's 4 p.m. Eastern here on a Tuesday. So no matter what's happening in our design studio, we like to put a pin in it and come out here and talk to you, women working on your own home, women who love design, women who are really trying to get those gorgeous results. And maybe your results are falling a little short. Here at the Interior Design Advocate, we want to put a stop to non-beautiful rooms, the ugly room, the disappointing the room, the I can't stand this room. We've got a lot of great things planned for you in the new year in 2019, and we'll start announcing some of those in January of 19. But in the meantime, we want to finish out things strong for you here in 2018, and we like to come out here, teach a lesson to you, a short lesson on design, and then we'd love to take your questions. And I'm getting hellos from people. Hello to Brett. Hello from, I can't see that without my glasses on. Hello to Jennifer. So I'm going to start teaching, and if you have a project question, feel free to scooch those in, and I'm happy to answer you while I'm on live. So what I wanted to talk to you about was something that occurred to me really. I have a private Facebook group for advanced students, for women who I consider more advanced design lovers working on their own home. They've been through some of our courses, and they really want to take things to that next level and that next level. And it's a VIP lounge that we have. And based upon some questions I saw coming in there, I saw that even my most advanced peeps want to skip a really important step. And even my most advanced peeps don't fully want to give credence to the importance of one particular element that makes or breaks your rooms, makes every room in your home gorgeous or terrible. And I don't care what your design style is, and I don't care what your budget is. This one element has nothing to do with color, fabric, it has nothing to do with rugs, it has nothing to do with furniture. It has everything to do with furniture, layout, and placement. Yes. That one element is mission critical to beautiful rooms. Here's why. And a lot of you I know want to just jump into the sexy part of design, right? You want to go right to looking at gorgeous rugs, or right to looking at bed frames, or right to looking at dining room tables. You have to make sure that you have created a viable and beautiful two-dimensional plan for your room. By two-dimensional, you draw it on a piece of paper and look down at it, or you put it on your computer and you look at it two-dimensionally. But you have to make sure that you are respecting the architecture of the room you're working in, to make sure that the furniture is correct proportionally, that you have the right amount of furniture to that room. And if you try to push your architecture, as I said in this private meetup online that we had last night with this advanced group of students, I said, listen, you can only push architecture so far. And yeah, there are things you can do to coax architecture, but eventually if you over push architecture, you lose. Architecture always wins. So what I find happens with a lot of women who are design lovers, you know, you see a concept on Pinterest, or you see a concept in house, and you think, oh, I'd love to do that in my home. And clients will ask us about these types of things as well. They'll get onto a concept, but the reality of that concept doesn't translate well to the particular architecture of the room you are working in, because of door placement, because of window placement, because of the placement of entry points into the room. So if you try to overstuff your rooms, you will lose. I don't care if the answer is, yeah, but I already own that chaise. Well, I don't care if you already own that chaise. If it doesn't fit in your bedroom, get it out of there. Better to have less, but the right things, than overstuffing where you literally can't move around furniture. One of the courses I teach is called Decorating Genius System, or DGS for short, and there's an entire video devoted just to how wisely and simply you can do your furniture layouts without making yourself crazy, so that you always get a great feeling room. Furniture layout is not only about the function of the room, what activities do you want to support in that room, you know, how many people do you want to sit in that room, if it's a room with soft seating. Yeah, the function is really important as well, but I'm telling you, if you really start to look at your plans, when you're doing those two-dimensional plans, you will start to see your room three-dimensionally. You will literally start to walk into that room as you are working on it on your plan. And it will keep building and pushing that visual sense for you, which is so important in creating that beautiful home when you're just, you know, picking everything out from little teeny swatches, right? Developing that visual sense is so mission critical. So you cannot skip the step of creating your drawn plan. And I don't care if you even already have furniture in there. Create your drawn plan so you know what you need to add. If what you have is too big or too small, if it's too small, can you add something else to that room to correct what you have that's in there that's too small? It's not just about function, it's about flow, it's about harmony. You and I could do a perfect wall color. We could do a perfect fabric color. We can do perfect fabric layout, I should say. Gorgeous furniture. But if our space plan, the furniture layout stinks, I don't care how beautiful those other elements are, I don't care how much you spend on them, that room is going to look and feel like beep. Oh, I just beeped myself, because that's what it'll look like. It'll be that bad. It doesn't matter how beautiful the elements are. If the space plan is off, the harmony, the beauty, the charm of a room, you're just shooting it in the foot. Okay, so don't skip that step. I know a lot of your dessert first people. You want to jump to the fun part right away. You got to do the heavy lifting. You've got to do that space plan first. Okay, did I tell you everything I wanted to tell you? Yes, I did. So if you have a question on a project, I'd love to be able to answer those for you. And I hear Katie doing scribbling. Let me guess. Are there questions coming in? There are questions coming in. Let me just tell you, Katie and I are losing our last marble. We are on a huge installation for a great project we've been designing for like about 19 months now. And the furniture's coming in and the rugs and the window treatments. We have, aside from having to finish putting in all the accessories and all the window treatments and moving the furniture from the original residence to this residence, all the new furniture is delivered. We have a punch list of about 74 items. Those are things that either aren't completed yet or I'm not satisfied with them and they need to be kind of tweaked and redone. We are pushing on every level, so I hope I will string a few words together wisely for you today, because we're tired. We are really tired today in the studio. So hello from Jennifer. Mish is asking me, it's so hard when you have a piece of furniture that you love but have nowhere to put it. You know, Mish, I completely agree with you. I get it. But that's like saying, you know, I have this steak in my freezer, but everybody in my family can't digest it. So give it away. Give that steak to a neighbor. Say, here's this gorgeous steak I ordered. Nobody in my family can digest steak. I'd at least like to see this go to good use. Or if you've got some bucks to throw at something, you can recut furniture. For example, we're shortening a sofa by 20 inches. It's a 90, what is that, 98-inch sofa? Something crazy big. We're taking it down by 20 inches. It'll cost you some bucks, but you can do that without reupholstering with a good reupholsterer. They don't have to recover the entire sofa. So if you have something that's really big by way of an oversized sofa, oversized chair, and you want to throw money at it because maybe it has sentimental value, Mish, you can do something like that. But very often it's just a question of just throwing in the towel and say, you know what, I had this XYZ piece of furniture for how many years, and I certainly got my money's worth out of it. And you just kind of, you have to keep going in a new direction. And that's especially true when you're downsizing and you go from rooms of one size and now things are getting a little shorter. Michelle wants to know, how do you feel about two sofas across from each other? Love them. That's what I have, and that seems to flow better for us. Oh, I think it's beautiful. We just completed a gorgeous living room, one of Katie's favorite projects of the year, actually. It's a sexy room. And we haven't photographed it yet because here in the Northeast, we can't photograph year-round as designers. We have to wait for photography season, which is between May and maybe early October, when things are still green and leafy. If you notice in those gorgeous Pinterest images, it's never raining outside, it's never wintry and snowy, it's never bare trees, right? So anyway, so I can't show you this picture, Michelle, but I love twin sofas flanking a fireplace or flanking something. It's a great look, very elegant. I think it's beautiful. And I'm assuming that you have good pass-through space around those sofas to enter, into that seating zone, but I think it looks great. Jennifer McCann says, I agree with you on furniture layout. Learn that from Donna. Oh, Jennifer, mwah to you. Jennifer is one of my star students. I've seen the beautiful things Jennifer has created, so I am so glad to have been part of helping you create all that beauty, Jennifer, and you are doing lovely things, so thank you. Samia says, I want a darker color for my room. Okay. All right, Samia, I don't see your question there. I don't understand what you're asking me, so I'm just going to say, okay. Lisa is saying, how much furniture can I put in a small bedroom? 12 by 11.5. Gee, Lisa, um, what should I wear next week? That's a very big question you just asked me, and I just asked you as a tease and to tease you a question back that also is a little short question with a huge answer. You really cannot, you can't cheat this process, Lisa. You actually have to do a drawn space plan with furniture or on a computer or hand drawn. I don't care which one, but you actually have, I don't know what room are you talking about? Is it a bedroom? Is it a living room? How much furniture? How big is the furniture? It's a wide open question. Space planning takes a little bit of time. If it was just a question of saying green, that's the answer, everybody's home would look a lot better right now, much better than it does already. If design was as easy as it has been dumbed down to look. Now, design can be very simple if you've got great strategies behind you. Yeah, it gets a lot easier, as Jennifer was just saying. However, you've got to use the strategies. So, Lisa, I don't know where your doorways are. I don't know how many windows you have. I don't know what kind of footpaths you have to protect. These are some things for you to think about, Lisa. So I encourage you to get some knowledge under your belt, whether you want to do some Googling on it, whether you want to take a class in it at a local college, whether you want to check out the products that we offer, but you definitely need to, there's more strategy that you're missing. It's a slightly bigger topic than I think you're thinking it is right now. And I want to make sure, Lisa, that you're spending your money wisely, that you're not buying anything that isn't going to be perfect in your space. So I encourage you somehow to get some knowledge on this topic. Okay, you'll thank me for that. I promise I'm not trying to blow you off with that answer. It's just the kind of question that doesn't have an answer because there are so many factors that go into answering your question. Samia is now saying, please suggest it to me. What is the color? Samia, I don't know. What are the other colors in your house? What colors do you like? What's your design fingerprint? What are the other colors from room to room that have to, you know, one color has to, you know, have a relationship to another. So not enough information, Samia, to be able to give you a good answer. I could give you a terrible answer and just say, what's the color?
No, no.
Katie doesn't even want to name a color. Yeah, so I'm just teasing you, but you absolutely have to do a lot more project planning to be able to just come up with a color, because it's got to be right for all of the elements in your home. So you're creating, Samia, a sense of through line. So it's not just some arbitrary color. For example, maybe this will help inspire you, Samia, in a home that we're designing. In a living room, we did a really rich, deep gray. And that gray then lightens slightly and jumps into a rug in the adjoining foyer, and then deepens slightly and jumps into the adjoining dining room, and then it waters down and jumps forward into an adjoining great room. So think about the colors you like being surrounded by, Samia, and how you can start creating a through line with that. But I encourage you to do some design education around how to put together a color plan, and make sure, if you're telling me you love dark colors, make sure that you include those in your space plan as well. So Katie is giving me a question from Instagram. What software do you use for space plans? Okay, I love, and do you know who's asking me that question? Okay. Don't know, sorry about that. But so Instagram, delicious woman who's asking what software program we use. Here in our design studio, we use something called Studio Webware. Non-designers can absolutely use it. It's a little more program than you need to learn, but I think it's a fairly intuitive program to learn. And if you are moving into a home and you've got a lot of rooms to do, I think it's a really cool program to invest in. If you just have one room or a room and a half to do, you may not want to spend the several $100s it requires to purchase it. But I don't think it has a terrible lead time to learn, and they have a lot of free training and video trainings. But a lot of users in one of our private Facebook groups love, is it Wachovia? Icovia. Wachovia is a bank out here in Pennsylvania. Oh, I'm telling you, we're tired. Icovia, ICOVIA, is a space planning tool that a lot of my students have been talking about and they seem to be enjoying it. So you can Google that and see if that'll work for you. But I'm so glad you are taking the bull by the horns and doing some space planning. Proud of you, sending you a hug. All right, more questions on Facebook here. Lauren Ibrahim wants to know, should you avoid placing a couch so that the back of it is the first thing you see when walking into a room? In my case, it's facing the focal point, the TV built in a room. Lauren, this is a very good question. Depends upon the room. I designed a beautiful family room recently where I wanted floating furniture, and I knew the back of that sofa was something you'd be walking into. So I selected a sofa that had really pretty detailing on the back. So if you can, you know, if you're ordering starting from scratch, maybe there's pretty, I don't know, nail heading you want to put around the base all around, or maybe there's a nail heading shadow box and you want to do along in the center back of your sofa, or maybe there's a beautiful banding you want to run around along the base of your sofa, just so that if you are walking into the back of a piece of upholstery, you're giving the eye some eye candy. So that's a great thing to consider. I am working on a living room as well right now. I'm not thrilled about the fact that I have people walking into the sofa. I don't have many choices because of the way the room is laid out and because of some of the existing furnishings. However, I have made sure to really control the color of all the furniture in the room so that especially that sofa is light and receding. It's not jumping out and whacking people in the face in the way it would if it was a dark, dark color. So that's the only thing I would caution you to, Lauren. Make sure that you have furniture that's well placed in the room, that you're not encroaching on the entry point to the room with the back of that sofa. Also, I do think sometimes controlling the height of the back of that sofa, so it's not a super oversized height at that back, if you're walking dead into it, can help as well. But provided that it fits into the room, that you've done your drawn plan online or with, you know, your beautiful hand and a piece of paper, I have no problem with what you're suggesting, Lauren. Great question. Michelle is saying, thank you, I have built-in bookcases, no problem. I don't know what that thank you's for. Are gold walls out? Mandy wants to know, are gold walls out? You know, Mandy, here's what I have to say to you. If you love gold walls, I want you to do them, unless you are selling your home in, you know, 5 or less years. I love to design with colors that are not necessarily trending. If that's what a woman loves, or that's what a couple loves, or if that's what a man I'm designing for loves, yes, I keep an eye toward trends on so that I'm doing silhouettes that are current, so that I have a fresh current feeling. But I have news for you. Gold, as in goldenrod, is starting to trend again. It's starting to have a moment. We saw it in Paris 3 years ago, and it barely took off. And now we saw it again this past year in Paris at the trade shows, and we're seeing it showing up. You'll see it showing up on our Instagram feed. You're seeing it showing up in magazines. So it is starting to show up again. Is it that Tuscan gold? No, it has changed a little bit. But if goldenrod or gold or whatever your gold is something that you absolutely love, do it. And then add some really crisp current elements to it. That's what I would say to you. But is it a hot trending color right now? Not in the way it was 15 years ago, 10 years ago, when that kind of Tuscan gold was everywhere. Lori is saying, I have a long, okay, Katie is telling me final 2 questions. Katie's keeping me on schedule. Okay, so final 2 questions. One of them is from Lori Jarrett Lewis. She's saying, I have a long room that includes floor to ceiling columns, nice, that separate my living room and dining room, and I keep getting hung up in the space planning with these columns. Sure. Do I avoid placing furniture between them or around them? Lori, that's a great question. You've got to, when you do your drawn plan, you have to include those in your plan, and those columns can be a true pain in the rear end. They're beautiful looking, but they can be tough. Sometimes builders include them because they want to create an open space plan, an open concept plan, but they have to make sure the ceiling isn't, you know, falling on your head. So you get to have these rambling open spaces without all these walls. They still need these support beams, right? So you can, I need to see the drawn plan. And Lori, I believe you're in one of my private Facebook groups, so I would encourage you to post that so I can see specifically what your plan is. Draw in that column though, so that it's a measured, you know, if it's a 12 inch by 12 inch column, make it 12 inch by 12 inch on your plan. Make sure you have the opening between the columns shown on your plan. Generally speaking, you use those columns as a room divider. So you would place your furniture slightly, you know, either up against the column or forward of the column, not necessarily between the column. That's a very general answer given the very general information I have here, Lori, but hopefully that helps you. But they can be challenging, columns, to be sure. In fact, I was looking at a renovation project potentially earlier in the year, and the columns are in such a horrible place. In this kitchen, we looked at what would be involved to move the columns. It was pricey because we had to create support elsewhere, but those columns were absolutely in the way for ideal functioning in this kitchen. So sometimes the columns are just beautiful, and sometimes they're, you know, a pain in the neck. So Mia wants to know, what's my favorite color in my bedroom? I have a little bit of a whispery gray in my bedroom and cream, and I find that very restful. I didn't put color in my bedroom with the exception of one goldenrod bench at the base of my bed. I work with so much color in my life that you'll notice our design studio. Do you see a lot of color in the studio? No, a little flash of purple. That's it, right? On those window coverings right there. Sorry, Instagrammers, you can't see that. So I don't like a lot of color in my bedroom, and that's just me. I think it's like I just need to rest from color. So that's an interesting question that you're asking me. And then Samia is saying my bed set is my bed set color is brown. Please help me, Samia babes. I just don't know exactly what you're asking me to do for you. I need to see a picture of what you have to be able to set you on the road to designing your room. Okay, as a design coach, which is what I do as the design advocate, you design, I guide. I want to see you, Samia, get a little more masterful and powerful in the information that you feel confident in having as a design lover, so that you will know what kind of colors you need to start sprinkling around your brown furniture. Okay, hopefully that helps you. I'm giving you some tough love, but I'm doing it with a hug and a kiss. All righty, Samia is saying thanks. Okay, Linda, this is that last question from Linda Stokes Fedorchak. I have no curtains in my living areas, all cedar walls. Do you recommend to warm up space or leave windows open? I have a private lot. No curtains in your living areas, all cedar walls. What do you recommend to warm up the space, curtains, or leave the windows open if a private lot? All right, well, first of all, Linda, I'd love to know what your inspiration images look like. Do you like dressed windows, or do you like underdressed windows or non-dressed windows? I will say that window coverings do a lot of things in spaces aside from creating a sense of rhythm or warmth or beauty or charm in a space. They do soak up sound. So I don't know if you're feeling at all echoey, window treatments will definitely help. They definitely can also be used to control glare, etc. But I think a really simple, you know, when I do, sounds like you're kind of like a lodge look with what you're describing, or farmhouse. I think those types of styles look really good with very, very simple drapery panels and very simple plain cloth, and then a beautiful, you know, iron, but simple, rod and ring. Or simple wood if you want, but I think a little bit of metal against all that wood can be interesting. And here's the thing. I hear this complaint a lot, you know, I love my view, I don't want to lose my view. Design your window treatment so you're not usurping all that glass. Stay off the glass. You paid for that glass. Trust me, in your rent check, in your mortgage check, you're paying for all the glass, and you're paying for all that view. Glass is expensive, so is view. So I never like to see a window treatment covering up a ton of glass. In fact, you see the window treatment on Facebook. We started to lower our shade just because the sun was coming in and we didn't want it to create a great glare, but we stay off our glass and our own window treatments here. So I think that I would just design to stay off your treatment, off your window glass as much as you can. And by that I mean, Linda, if you were to do a panel, you know, you need to cover up the casement of the window, but that's it. And then the rest stacks beyond the window. Next year I'll be doing more teaching on window treatments. But that's all I'm going to say right now. I am terrible at keeping surprises. Do you know, when I was little, I got in trouble. I told my big brother something stupid like, I bet you don't know you're getting a bicycle for your birthday. He was so mad at me because I ruined the surprise. But I was just excited. It was a present. Wanted to tell him it was coming. So some things never change. A baby. All right, my dears. So Katie's given me the sign that we've got to get the heck out of here. I see there are a few more questions coming in, but we're running late. What color hardware are you recommending, brush, nickel, or black? Depends upon, Sherry's asking, depends upon the interior, Sherry. There's no right answer that always happens. I do both. It depends upon the other colors and sensibilities running through the space. Do I want something light and sparkly? Do I want something matte? Do I want something dark? Do I want something light? Okay, and Linda's saying, yes, she's doing a lodge look. Loves my advice. Well, Linda, I love giving it to you, and I love having you here, and I'm so glad it helps you. All right, I'm getting a ton of waves on Instagram and a ton of waves and happy faces on, I think I was anyway, on Facebook. So here's what I'd love to say to you. Please share this video if you found it useful. We love helping as many women as possible to beautify your home. There's a pity thumbs up I'm getting on Facebook. Thank you so much. I'd love to invite you to follow us on Instagram if you aren't already doing so, at decorating.genius. That's at decorating.genius to follow us on Instagram. What are we talking about next week at 4 p.m.? Eastern. Oh, now I'm getting all these thumbs up. Thank you. I think I know who's doing that, but thank you very much. Next week is going to be our last Facebook and Instagram live for the year. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. We're going to be talking about quick ideas for facelifting your kitchen spaces for holiday entertaining. Quick ideas for facelifting kitchen spaces. I don't know why I'm saying kitchen spaces, kitchens for holiday entertaining. So we'll be talking about that next week, 4 p.m. Eastern. Please give this video a share and let us know what kind of topics you'd like to see us cover if we choose to continue to do these Facebook Lives in 2019. Leave a comment. Tell us what you'd love to hear us talk about, and we're happy to do that as well. Okay, my lovelies, I hope all your holiday season comings and goings and doings are going well. I hope you are well. It's so good to see you and be with you. We love being able to support you. So big hugs to you, and we'll see you next time here at the Interior Design Advocate. Bye-bye now.